Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here, coming at you with a second video for the Minecraft Platinum Trophy Guide. And like in the last video, I told you that there are certain differences between last gen and current gen, as there's trophies you don't have to earn on last gen that you do on the current gen. Now, from where we left off, I've set up some things like a little, sorry about this, my eye's a little itchy, and it's hitting the piece of the mic. But I've set up a wool area, and then I've set up other stuff here, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some things while we're over here. I also found a cool little friend. I believe that is also about it. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is simply craft a single cake. And then another thing I'm going to do is make a jukebox. Now what you can do is you can squat and place the cake, and whenever you're low on hunger, you can eat it, and that is another trophy down, so we can put everything that we got back. And then another thing that you'll end up needing to do at some point is use this music box, which come back here. We can take a music disc that we found and do that, and at any point we can just hit it again and it'll just eject it. Almost forgot to put away my cheers. And then also, if you happen to have leather, books, and paper, if you get enough, sticks, you can then make some books if you want to, if you have enough, of course. But then you can easily take, the books and make some bookshelves, which you need to do. Ugh. That'll also be another trophy. Now, in total, you'll probably need roughly about 27 bookshelves to have the best kind of enchantments. Now, the next thing that we're going to be working on trophy-wise is the nether and getting set up for the nether, of course. Now, hopefully by now, your mine should look similar to how mine is. Make sure you've got enough of it out. Do I have anything in there? No, I don't. But there's something up here that I was really surprised to stumble across. Now, if you happen to use a bucket and some water, you can make obsidian. Just have to have the water hit the exact point, or on top of a lava surface block. I don't know why I'm messing that up. But another thing that I wanted to show you is I found another spawner, which in this chest I happen to find another CD, which is very fortunate for me. But so the next thing that you really want to do is get roughly, I would say 20 obsidian. If you can safely do it, by all means go ahead. If you need to safely do it, I also recommend that, as you don't know if there's lava underneath or not. Another good way that you could do is take some buckets, scoop up some lava, take them somewhere that you can easily create obsidian without it getting in your way, and then you can easily do that. But the reason why we need more than just the 12 amount that you need for another portal is because you're also going to be making a enchantment table. So that'll simply be 2 trophies right there. And then there's a third one that I'll talk to once I get everything set up. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to be doing is nether related. And there's also another thing I'll be talking about. So if you take some flint and steel, which easily is just an iron ingot and some flint, which you'll get from gravel, and then you can set it up like this, just as like a starting little thing, and then just ignite it, and you'll create another portal. Now if we come over here, get some diamonds. Get some books. We could then craft an enchantment table, which I recommend doing. And then while you're at it, I recommend crafting an anvil. And if you have any spare stuff or spare iron left over, a minecart will work. And as well, just go ahead and make a full iron set. Like just do a full iron thing. And then what you also want to do is make 5 actual iron blocks, which you don't need to do this on last gen, so PS3 and Xbox 360, you don't need to do the iron block thing. But so yeah, so from here we can make a brand new room somewhere fitting for our business, which I'll probably end up just doing like back here or something. So that'll be another couple of chests or trophies. As well as when you're mining, you should be getting full stacks of cobblestone, which you'll then need to fill just one single chest full of. Now, one thing I definitely recommend doing is before you go into the nether, grab as much as you can of the cobblestone, as it's going to be an important part. Now, I also recommend on your first trip into the nether that you have nothing of importance. So do not take, any tools or anything that you want to risk losing. So what I'm going to do is simply get as many stacks as you want, really. That's what really matters. Then we'll, of course, make some tools. Put away our paper and our coal. Well, actually, no, we'll keep the coal so we have some torches. Now, on last gen, I will state that the amount of danger that the nether faces is going to be incredibly difficult. But also, at the same time, it's a little bit easier than the current nether, as it's more straightforward. But so we're going to go in, and I'll see you once we're there. Alright, so once you're in the nether, the first thing I recommend doing in all versions of the game is simply securing your portal. Because there's nothing worse than getting a bunch of loot, trying to run back to your portal, and next thing you know, it's just blown up. It's gone. So definitely just dig out around it and just fully encompass it in however much you want to of cobblestone. Now for me, I like to do at least a solid 2 or so amount. Main reason is if you spawn in a nice open area, especially on last gen, you will have gas raining down fireballs consistently at you with no way of having any safety net. So if you spawn, immediately do this just to make sure that your life is not at risk. Ugh. I feel like I have to sneeze. This also helps to stop other entities from just walking through the portal and just causing a muck in your life. And then what you can do is you can leave this as like a one-way little area. So like you can leave a door on this side that you can jump through. So on and so on, you know how it goes. I don't know why I'm placing these so terrible. Also, you want to make sure you can get the top too. Like I said though, where you spawn at in the nether, it definitely affects how well things go for you. If you spawn in an area like I have, you have enough downtime to prepare yourself, which is really, really good to get. But if you don't, it is very, very annoying and difficult to try and deal with. Because I just recently earned the Platinum Trophy for Minecraft on PlayStation 3, last console, or last gen, and the Nether was absolutely by far the worst part I had to deal with. Solely because of the fact that I was getting bombarded by ghasts. I spawned in an open area. There was nothing stopping them from just raining down on me. It was not fun. But once you have this all nice and sealed up, you can then start branching out from there, which is what I would recommend doing. As in the Nether, cobblestone can't be blown up by gas or anything. It can still be blown up if like a creeper walks through, which is very unfortunate. Why do I keep placing these so far away? But once you have, you know, your safety net in place, you can easily just venture out from there. And then all you're trying to do is mainly just find the Nether fortress. Alright, so we have a nice little solid go through area, and we can now venture out. Now you will, by the end of this, you will definitely have a lot of netherrack. But like I said, the nether is going to be dangerous, so just be really careful. Oh no. That's not good. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Be careful when, on current consoles, just running into these specific enemies is very dangerous, as they are very aggressive and will attack you on the site. And there can sometimes be multiple of them. But just making sure you keep distance so they don't hit you is the best thing to do. Now, how I like to go about exploring the Nether is exactly the opposite of what I'm doing right now. As this is not how I normally go about it. I'll definitely grab me some glowstone. For sure. Just a little bit. That way I have some stuff to take back. Just gonna explore a little, see what's around. But, so one thing I like to do when I'm in the Nether is, from my base, I like to make a just full branching out path. And so what I mean by that is, say, we'll just make this even like so. Alright, so from here I will simply just go out one direction till I find something. And then I'll do that until I can branch off and go in multiple directions. And that's all it is. It's just doing that until you find another fortress. As that's what the end goal of the Nether is finding another fortress, finding blazes so you can get blaze rods, and then make Eyes of Enders, and then go find the actual fortress in the overworld. So trying to do that as fast as possible without risking your life is going to be quite challenging, but it's doable. Now also, while you're here in the Nether, the second trophy, besides relieving a blaze and getting a blaze rod, is sending a gas attack back at it, destroying it. Now on last gen, if you make stairs or make a giant path, eventually just running around it, gas will spawn close to it or get closer to you to attack you, and in doing so it'll make it a lot easier to hit the attack back at them. This is really, really going far. But once you do that, you really don't have to come back into the nether unless you really want to just risk getting nether related items. Now on last gen the nether is pretty boring. There's not a bunch of biomes and other stuff like that. But I think this is far enough in one direction. Eventually, I hope. But yeah, that's pretty much... Jeez, that's ridiculous. This far, and I got nothing. Trying to speed this process up to get back. Now also, on current gen, if you actually wear gold, it'll actually make your life a little bit easier. But yeah, so that's what I like to do, is I like to branch out. I also normally don't have it being netherrack as my pathing. I use cobblestone. That way gas can't just destroy it, like so. It's a little bit more annoying because you have to constantly be crouched, you know, and placing it, so on and so on. But I feel like it's the better option, especially on certain parts where a gas is shooting at you. Next thing you know, the netherrack's blown up, and you're now falling into lava. Now, there is things that you can do on last gen versions of Minecraft where you can save the game and then exit without saving. So you can use that as a safety net in case something happens while you're in the nether and, like, you know, you're about to fall in lava and lose all your diamond armor and gear. You can just do that, like, save the game beforehand, do what you gotta do, and then if you happen to die, you can exit without saving, and then you risk losing nothing. It's also a good method to use to find the stronghold in the overworld with Eyes of Ender, which is very helpful to figure out. Now, what will happen next is we will go over Endermen and Enderman farms that can be made in the overworld, as those are going to be important. So let me try and see if I can branch out, see some things, try not to die, of course. Like I said, you don't want to bring anything that you might lose on your first couple of trips into the nether, because losing something here that's not netherite will be a huge loss and a minor or major setback, I should say. But I do this, just branch out any directions, and then eventually you can try and use that to, like, look around, see things, you know, try and go up or not, try and find bastions, just, you know, anything that you can do to get a sense of the land. You can also, like I said, you can basically do this however you want to do this. We're in a safe spot, so there's no gas spawning, which is really nice. So then what I can do is I can also eventually have it to where I can branch up and then go around. And because, like I said, cobblestone doesn't explode, it makes it really, really easy to not get blown up. It's always so annoying trying to make stairs sometimes, I feel like. Come on. There we go. So now we can also go up, kind of explore a little bit more of the world. Now, the reason why I say you want to be wearing gold of some kind is the fact that piglins, which are a new enemy type on current gen, right here, they will not attack you on spot if you're wearing gold. Now, if you mine gold items in front of them, they will attack you regardless. You can also trade with them and get ender pearls. They take gold bricks. Now, the pigs will still attack you. Also, on current gen consoles, in certain parts of the nether, it seems like it's more likely to have endermen show up and just be around. So that is a thing. But on last gen, it's a little annoying finding and getting endermen, which is what we're going to be going over next, as that'll come into play and be a key focus point of like the ending parts of this trophy guide. Is the end city, fighting the Ender Dragons, and other stuff like that. Now I'm just gonna sleep real quick and be done with that. Now the next thing that you'll need to do is you'll need to have a saddle and a fishing rod and a carrot. Now luckily we happen to have plenty of carrots. And also, I guess what we could do is we could make a little makeshift stair. You want to roughly do this like I'd say 5 steps, depending on where your starting height is. So since we took damage there, that's a pretty good one. So basically what you want to do is let single pig out if possible. Get back, get back. There we go. Alright, so you take this pig that now has a saddle on it, and then if you combine it with a thing on a stick, you can then ride the pig and guide it. So if you like lead it around, you lead it up. So the trophy we're working on right now is when pigs fly. So if you lead the pig up and then off of a surface, the pig will take damage. So you just do that and then you'll get a trophy. And you'll get the saddle back. For a second there I thought I lost it, which would have been news to me. Another trophy that you want to do is taming 5 dogs. And that requires you to go out into the world and tame them, or find them of course, but you also need to have plenty of bones when you do that, just because it takes a random amount of bones to tame dogs. We're also going to make some glowstone, just kind of keep it close to us. Have our spare blocks box. And then the next animal that you have to tame is found in a jungle biome. This is only on current consoles, not last gen, so you don't have to do that. Now, a good way to cheese some of these is to go into the tutorial worlds, if you can still access those. I'm sure there's certain seeds that you can look up to find specific tutorial worlds, as most of those have a bunch of structures and settlements and animals in them to do this stuff for. And you can easily cheese it like that by making a new world, going and taming the animals, like the 5 dogs or wolves. Now, the next animal you have to find to tame for a trophy on the current versions of the game is called an ocelot, and it is found in a jungle biome. It is a yellowish and light golden spotted cat. You can only tame it by getting raw fish, going and finding one, and then kind of crouched and not moving, holding the fish out, and they'll come to you. It's similar to the dogs. You'll have to feed it so many times, but just running up on it will cause it to run away from you. So just be wary of that. And yeah, as we can see, our farms are doing well. My path is kind of fixed itself. But yeah, so another trophy that is on current gen that you have to worry about is making an iron golem. That is why I had us make the 5 iron blocks. The downside is I do not actually have a what's the word? Drawing a blank here, guys. A pumpkin, as you need to have a pumpkin made in order to make the headpiece. So you'd make a T, so it'd look like this. 1, 2, 3. Would it be? No, I think that's too big. I think it's just 4 pieces, but 2 and then 2, so it's still a T shape, but just a little bit shorter. And in doing so, you will also get another trophy. But yeah, so in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up 3 specific farms for mobs, which I'll probably do in this nice grassy area. I'll probably terraform some of it out and then condense it into spaces. That way there's nothing that can spawn underneath. That way the farms work. And then I'll also show you another method that you can use on last gen in case some of these aren't working too well, as well as getting a nice room set up for my come on, what is it? My enchantment table, as I'll do all that. So I'll see y'all when that's all nice and said and done. Alright, hello. Now we're coming back, and as you can see here, I have all 16 forms of wool. The first one I'll go over is white wool. That one you can easily just get from just sheeps. Now the next thing is light gray, which you can get from bone meal and other stuff. So yeah, next will be gray, which you can actually get by combining, I believe, just regular wool and an ink sac, which you'll get from squids to make gray. Then you'll have the ink sac yourself, which will give you the black one. You'll have multiple flowers on this list that you'll need to grab, as mixing those with bone meal, which will create white dye, can result in the remaining. You have roses and other bushes that'll give you red dye. Same thing for orange dye and yellow dye. And then there's also blue dye. And then green dye you can get by melting cactuses or smelting cactuses in a furnace. That'll give you green dye. Now, if you combine all of these basic colors with white wool, you can then get the lime, magenta, pink, purple, light blue, and cyan. The last one you'll need is the brown wool, which you'll get from cocoa beans, which you can find in jungle biomes. Now, like I said, I'll allow people to come and join the server for getting all of those. So what you'd have to do is just simply come in, grab all of the wool. You don't need to grab the crafting materials, and then that'll get you another trophy. And then from here, the next thing that you're going to do, if you haven't already done it, is go fishing. There's a creeper somewhere around here. But yeah, so next thing you want to do is go fishing. And that'll get you another trophy, is simply just by catching a fish. Now I'm going to take care of this ground real quick, simply because. So you'll just simply cast it, and when you see the bubbles hit, you'll pull it in. Pretty simple. Now you can get an array of stuff from fishing. Also, you can get books, items, random stuff, different kinds of fish. Sometimes it won't cast for some reason. Now, on the current gen version of the game, fishing goes by really quickly. On last gen, it's kind of slow and dependent. You can also get books from doing this. If you can't find a saddle on both current gen and last gen, you can get one from fishing. It is like a 0.0, I think it's a 2% or less than 2% chance of getting it. I could be wrong on that one, but it'll take some time to get a saddle and other items. Now, if you want to spend a good day just fishing using your entire fishing pole, by all means go ahead, as this is a good way of getting XP, getting a bunch of stuff. Now you'll also get a trophy for catching fish while doing this, and also this will go towards working toward getting another trophy, which will be to tame an ocelot, which you need raw fish for. But at the same time as going to find an ocelot, you will also be looking for cocoa beans, because they're both found in the same area, the jungle biome. And plus, this is also a decent way of getting XP. Because then what you can also do is cook all of the fish that you want to cook. And then that'll get you more XP once you pull it out. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about after this is, once I get the materials for it, is it'll be right behind me to the left. You might have seen it whenever I was on the way over to fish. But I'll talk about that once I have all the necessary materials ready for that. And this will just be me showing you how to set it up, of course. Not how to add, like, you can build this wherever. I happen to just build it close by as I felt like it was necessary and easier to do. Also gave me time to slightly terraform some of the land around my base. But yeah. So I'm just going to fish a little bit longer, get some more XP and stuff, and then I'll try and set everything else up for that thing I'll talk about. Alright, now as you can see here, I've built a little area. Now what this is basically going to be is simply a mob farm. Now the reason why I have it built like this is so that you can get Endermen to spawn, as it has to be 3 high for them to spawn. Whoops. Now what you're going to need is to have a nice unlit area, so no kind of light source at all. And then you basically just want to build it out of slabs. I did this wrong. Here we go. Make sure it's on the bottom, so then we can just break these two away. And you simply want to place these like so. Take your time, of course. You don't want to accidentally mess this up. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're having it so that things will spawn. Now, this is just one way that you can do this. I will show you another way, which is how I ended up doing it on the PS3 version, as it worked out better for me than this. But this is just a optional method. If you want to look up other ways of making an Enderman farm, by all means you can. You don't have to use my methods. I just feel like this is just a good one to use, as it's more consistent, as well as you can also use this to get other things to spawn. Keep doing this. Why do I keep doing this? But just make sure that you can like easily fill out the back couple of areas. Why? But yeah, so build it up 3 high. Make sure you build it into an area where there's not a lot of stuff like underneath. That way this ensures that nothing spawns down below. Now if you want, you can easily just come down. Let's go like this. If it makes it easier. You will need a bunch of slabs in order to do this. But eventually, as you'll notice, that it'll easily fill out and then be fully dark. Now I'm just going to skip to whenever I've done that, of course. As you can see, I've made a small mistake. So I'll see you then. Alright, so as you can see, it's basically finished. It's not as dark as I was hoping it would appear to be for some reason. But basically, you're just trying to have it to where this area is dark. You can build this wherever you feel comfortable building it. You can also build it as wide as you want to build it. But you want to make sure that the roof is made out of slabs. This will stop enemies from spawning on it. Now, if you don't want spiders to spawn, place a slab every 2 spaces. So have 2 spaces in between, place 1, 2, place 1, so on and so on. This will stop them from being able to spawn. Now the next method I'm going to show you that you can use requires just going back and forth between 2 specific points. So before you set this up, or before you start doing this, you want to set up an area to where you have at least a, like so. You can do this a little bit wider, or you can just take this out, sit underneath. This will require having a boat. So what you'll basically do whenever it's nighttime is you will swim between the first area that you have, and you can choose any other point as long as it's within a certain range. So you could like swim down here to this other landform, set up another one. Make sure it's in an area that's close to the shore, that way it doesn't take a lot of time to get in between. And while you're doing this, just be looking around and you'll try and spot Endermen. It's the whole point of this, as this is what I was doing whenever the other way wasn't working as well as I was wanting it to. So you basically just come up here, do the same thing, make it 3, and then take out the center. That way you have a nice safe spot to look around and look at Enderman. And then all you do is just get back in your boat and then go back to the next spot. That's all it is just going back and forth. Now, if you were on the latest version, you don't have to really do this as much as if you go to the Nether. Surprisingly, there's quite a lot of Enderman spawns, as on another world I had that I recently lost, I had a lot of Endermen spawning, and they would die to lava or the magma blocks that is found in the area, and it was really easy for me to have ender pearls. And yeah, that's pretty much the second method of trying to find endermen, is just going around and despawning and respawning enemies from here somewhere else, is basically the whole method. So there's option 1, and then there's option 2. If there are other ways, by all means, you can leave links down in the comments to it, or just say how it is, how it's done. Would be much appreciated. And then the next thing to talk about is more or less for last gen on gold, as it involves the nether. So I will get rusted up, get stuff secured and put away, get more cobblestone for my trip, and stuff like that. So I'll see you when we're in the nether. Alright, hello. Now, as you can see, we are here in the nether. Now, on last gen, if you were struggling to get gold, what you can do is you can find a nice openish area that has zombie pigmen in, and then what you want to do is make a farm specifically. Build a little safe area that will require you to make a, like, not stone slabs, but the stone walls. You'll build a little, like, 6x6 around. That way you have a safe area. You can build it wider, of course, but then what you want to simply do is attack the zombie pigmen. This will then cause all of the zombie pigmen in the area to aggro onto you and attack you. Now, the reason why you want to do this is because they have a chance of dropping gold nuggets or the gold weapons. What you can do with those weapons is you can then melt them in a furnace and you'll get gold back. So if you're having trouble finding gold while mining, this is an alternate option, as you're going to need some, at least 16 gold powered rails for what we're going to do next. Now, as you can see, I'm in the nether with a gold helmet on, so these piglins won't attack me. And as you can see, I've been trying to find a nether fortress, and I've gone out a big distance. But another option that you want to do if you're on current gen is you can fight and defeat the piglins. They will also drop gold weapons and stuff like that, but I highly advise against it, as they sometimes have really good deals and offers. Whenever you trade gold bars with them, they can give you ender pearls. So that is a third option on current gen of finding ender pearls, if you didn't already know that. But I think that is pretty much going to be the end of this current video. The last video is more or less just going to be the rest of everything that we need to worry about. I do also want to mention that if you wanted to, you can try and find a seed for a Minecraft tutorial world, as for some reason you can't just make those anymore. You have to input seeds and do it like that for some reason. I don't know why. I recently tried to do that to see if I could maybe make this guide easier for you, but it wouldn't let me create a tutorial world at all. But so yeah, you could do that. Also on current gen, you can find these gold nuggets. If you have a pickaxe that has looting on it, then that'll help you get more gold nuggets for easier butter and stuff like that. But the last video is more or less just going to be powered rail, blaze rod farming from a fortress once we find one, returning a gas attack. I'll actually include that one right now, as if you can find a nice open area like this, build a bridge on it, with a safety area like before, you can try and lure in the gas closer to you. As you can see from these explosions around me, I've done so, and upon hitting the gas with its own fireball, if you have a weapon that has like a fast attack speed, like if you see this sword, it's not very fast, but if you switch to something like cobblestone, a torch, food, something that's not an actual tool, it makes it a lot easier for you to hit the gassed fireball back at it. On the current gen, it's a lot easier as it's an actual like magma ball that doesn't fly as fast, but on last gen, it's just a thing of fire. And so it's really hard to hit. You have to be quite specific when you hit it. But once you do, it's not too terrible. Like I said, on last gen, the Nether is extremely hard as they are not kind to you at all, as gas are spawning like crazy. You literally have like no downtime if you get a bad spawn. You almost will likely lose items on last gen. Current gen, not so much. As you can see, I'm able to just freely stand. Maybe I can get this right now and show you. So if you get really close, oh, I almost had him. Come on. But as you'll see, the closer you are, the easier it might be to actually hit the gas, fireball back at it. It's not always a guarantee. There are times where they will actually spawn in the ground. Now you don't want to be directly underneath it, but make sure you're close enough that when you send it back, that it'll be more or less likely to actually hit. As sometimes the gas are move very quickly. You can also try and get as close as you can, like I am, to reduce the chance of actually having it hit you. It's not always going to be the case. But as you can see, it's a very luck-based kind of trophy, as most of the gas don't actually take too long to destroy, as it's only actually 2 hits from a stone sword. As you can see, that should have been a hit, but for some reason it just wasn't. But yeah, so being close can sometimes get it. You actually have to hit the body itself, like so, and boom, just like that. You'll easily get the gas. Well, not easily, as you saw, I struggled. But I think that's going to be the end of this video. Like I said, next video is just going to be the cleanup of the rest of the stuff. More or less curing zombie villagers on a rail. Finding in portal and stuff like that. And also swimming in lava. So the last video shouldn't be too long. It's more or less just setup. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, actually, I'm not finished. The last 2 things I will go over is 2 specific trophies related to defeating a Enderman, or not an Enderman, a creeper with a bow and arrow attack. So that'll be 1 trophy right there. And then the next trophy that you want to actually work on is called Sniper Duel. Basically what that means is just defeating a skeleton from over 50 meters. Now the best way to do that would be to set up a little trap. So if you go like this, we'll make it 3. And then just have it be like this. So basically what you're trying to do is I'm going to try and get this one skeleton over here to follow me. Perfect, perfect. You basically try and lure the skeleton in, because they will aggro you at a specific range. They'll try and get closer. So then what you're going to try and do is lure him into this little area. Once he sees that you're in here, he'll try and come in. Right? Come on. Alright, this'll work, this'll work. Come on. It won't always like guarantee that he'll walk in, but once he does, you simply do like that. And then go like that. Then what you can do is just mark out 50 blocks away, which will be quite a big distance. And yep. But basically what you're trying to do then is once he's in there, he'll be safe from the daylight, so don't worry about that. I'll come show you. As you'll see, he's chilling. So basically just build it 50 away. Be careful of where you're building it, of course. As you see, I fell into lava. But once you do that, just count 50 blocks, then uncover that hole, go to the very end, and you normally won't be able to see the skeleton. And then what you'll kind of want to do is aim like right around here. It'll be this block, and then it'll arch down, hit the skeleton, and once you do that, that'll be easily 50 meters and a sniper tool. And now I'm going to officially end the video. So I'll see you all in the next one.